Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shrim Rim Klim Glom Gam Ganapate Varavarada Sarvajanam Me Vashamane Svaha. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada. Om Shri Buddhi Siddhi Shakti Sahita Shri Mahaganadipate Namo Namaha. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Deva Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Gnanamurtim Dvandatitam Gagana Sadrusham Tatvamasyadi Laksham Ekam Nityam Vimalavachanam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om Shri Swami Narayana Namaha. Om Shri Lakshmi Narayana Namaha. Om Shri Krishna Narayana Namaha. Om Shri Rama Narayana Namaha. Om Shri Shiva Narayana Namaha. Om Badri Narayana Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. Om Divyalingaya Namaha. Om Urdhvalingaya Namaha. Om Anandalingaya Namaha. Om Dvadash Jyotirlingaya Namo Namaha. Om Namo Hanumate Bhayabanjanaya. Sukham Kuru Hat Svaha. Shri Hanumate Namaha. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 20th of November 2022. We are continuing by the blessings of all the great sages and the incarnations of God and all good people around us to contemplate on the extraordinary teachings of Adi Jagat Guru, or sometimes also known as Bhagwan Shri Shankaracharya Ji, the Adi Jagat Guru Shankaracharya Ji Maharaj. His teachings are in many different texts, and we are examining the Vivekchudamani. So along those lines, in continuing our exploration, we are starting verse number 65. Yesterday we did a bit of an introduction, kind of a little bit of a summary and overview, but today we're going to go through this one step at a time, one word at a time, as we usually do with these specific ideas. The point is in Vivekchudamani that every single statement made by Shankaracharya Ji is for the awakening of the Jivatma into the Brahmic state. That is the purpose of Vivekchudamani. So along those lines, as we all know, each human being seeks happiness, seeks balance, seeks enlightenment, has a sense of wanting to realize something greater. So many ways of perceiving all of this. So along those lines, in this particular verse, Shankaracharya Ji is talking about the realization of the Atma using an analogy of excavating. So khananam is the word that is used. Khananam is excavation, to dig, essentially, to remove the stones and whatnot. So the first word that is used here is aptokitam. What does this mean? This is the first word here. Aptokitam means the instructions of a competent person. We're just going to talk about this one word today only. So, first of all, in our day-to-day life, in human condition, each human being is guided by multiple teachers. Right from birth, right from childhood, we are all guided by multiple teachers at different times. Right from our parents, to the teachers in school, to the teachers in other places. Along those lines, Shankaracharya Ji is referring to the words spoken by those who have realized the Brahman. Now let's be very clear what we mean by the word Brahman. Or sometimes it is Brahma or Brahman. It is different from the word Brahma. Brahma is the deity, the god Brahma. So the word Brahman is not referring to that deity. The deity is part of that. Brahman is the super consciousness. It is the infinite substratum of all of reality. And it is also called Akshara. Akshara means imperishable. Okay, so the words spoken by Satgurus, this is Satguru, Satpurush, those individuals who are in that in that super state, in that super conscious state, that instruction they're giving is for the humanity to realize that state. That is called Aptavakya in the Sanskrit language. It simply means one who has seen. Aptokitam. Aptokitam is the instruction to do this, take the steps, follow this particular path, follow a particular path. So those instructions are what? I mean, what are those instructions actually? What are some of the instructions given, or the major instructions given? Well, the major instruction is given to uncover the Atma. Where is the Atma? That is who you are. Your essential nature, our essential nature, is the Atma Tattva. So the Guru is showing us how to open that dimension that I'm the Atma. Now, why should anybody even try to do that? Many reasons. One is the curiosity. Who am I? Each human being has a curiosity, jignasa. What am I? Who am I? What is my actual nature? That curiosity is there. But from that curiosity, the excavation process needs to occur. That excavation, to uncover, to dig inside, that digging inside is what is sadhana. That is sadhana. And that digging inside is not a physical digging. It is using mental power to probe and to have an internal journey. It's a journey inside. Antarik Yatra. That's what it is called. To do that, the instructions given by the great sages who have traveled that path and who are in that state of realization, they can guide the individual in how to realize the Atma. Now, in today's world, as I mentioned before, the guidance is coming in many different ways. If a physical guru is available, that's fine. In what we're doing here, we are contemplating together using the scriptures and all the different teachings and references and all that to help us. And we can ask each other questions and we can contemplate together. That's the forum that we have. But someone who has traveled that path, not simply studied the path, but has traveled the path and has realized that destination, that person's words, guidance towards generally humanity, in general humanity, and in particular as applied to each individual, that is what Shankaracharya is referring to. He's referring to those who are anubhavi individual. Anubhavi means who have realized, not simply conceptualized. Conceptual is good, there's nothing wrong, it's all very good. But Anubhav is different. Anubhav is the actual thing. So the actual realization of the Atma, of the me, the self, the actual consciousness, is one of the biggest goals of life. That if we get to this realization in this lifetime, wow, fantastic. We are living a life that is continuously dynamic, continuously ananda. It is constant ananda, akhanda ananda. This is the goal. Why should somebody realize the Atma? Is it just because of intellectual speculation? No, not because of that. It is to be in a state of akhanda ananda. Akhanda ananda means without break. Akhanda means breakage. Akhanda means without break. Unbroken, state of Ananda. Unbroken Ananda. Ananda is unbroken. You don't even have to use the word Akhanda, but it's to understand it a little bit better. That Ananda is what everyone is seeking. Everyone is seeking that in multitude ways in the experience of Prakriti. So the experiences of Prakriti, these experiences of Prakriti are what is called Umesha and Nimesha. This emergence and submergence. It is called, it is part of the Spanda Shakti. Let's be very clear on this point. Why these gurus are speaking from where they're speaking from is because of their realization, and they're asking us to realize. I'm just adding some things here to further clarify Shankaracharyaji's words. That all of the experiences of life, that is the experiences within Prakriti, are due to Spanda Shakti. And that Spanda Shakti is represented by Umesha and Nimesha of that primal energy Shakti that is connected with Shiva. So emergence is Umesha. Submergence is Nimesha. What does it mean? Look at our life here. Look at our life as it is. Within this world, just this earth, so many beings are coming into this world through different yonis, through different eggs and different birds and different species. For us, through the womb of the mother. This emergence is coming from somewhere. It's a creation. That energy is being accumulated, and it's taking a particular form, and it is emerging in a particular form. It is the creation of the forms, the Nama, Rupa, Akara. And then those same forms submerge. This body, Sachin's body is there. Sachin's body was very different when Sachin was born. And this name Sachin is given by the mother. This mother from the body gave this name. It's a name for identification. The body keeps changing, and then it will submerge away. But the energies that it is composed of do not submerge away. Energies remain. They are Spanda Shakti. Spanda meaning vibration. It means that it is a dynamism, it's a dynamic power of the Atma. Here's a practical example. When a person is attracted to somebody else, just in our experience, or attracted to an object, or sees a very beautiful sunset or a sunrise, see the change in the experience. That is Spanda Shakti. That is our experience actually. So, that energy, that is Spanda Shakti, is always intact. And it is never lost, even though we might think it is lost because of the ignorance in the mind. When we realize that that energy is never lost, it is changing forms to give us a variety of different experiences. And in the activity of the Spanda Shakti, there is no depletion of energy. So in activity of life, there is no depletion of the Spanda Shakti. Another way to put this from a Devi point of view, from the goddess's point of view, that the goddess's Devi is always engaged in exercising her energy in withdrawal, and yet always appears as replete. What does that mean? That the energies are constantly being absorbed back into the form of Shiv Shakti. But those same energies are coming back out again. And those same energies always are brimming. It's not that there is depletion of energy. In physics and in chemistry and thermodynamics, they talk about that energy can never be created or destroyed. It just changes form. That's easy to understand. But when we are talking about the Atma and its power, that power is responsible for giving the Jivatma, the Jiva, the experiences of Prakriti. So, Shankaracharyaji's teaching here is about rising above the entanglements within Prakriti. That is called Brahma Vidya. That wisdom, knowledge, path, approach, the teachings of the great sages, they're showing how to awaken into the self that is the Shiva, that is the Brahman. But to do so, this analogy of digging in the right place, it's a very great analogy, because we are digging for the right thing in the wrong place. You cannot find Akhanda Ananda by going further and expanding the experiences within Prakriti, by focusing more and more energy, our own individualized energy within that. You can expand to some extent. It was never going to lead to Akhanda Ananda. What will it lead to? It will lead to a certain cumulative experience that Prakriti can provide, which has a limitation. Until and unless this point is clear, and we are very aware of that, the ignorance, the ajnana will remain that within this Prakriti I will find Akhanda Ananda. Within this particular realm of circle of friends and family and people and this and that and objects and cars and vehicles and houses and bank accounts and it just goes on and on and on and on and on. And most people are trapped in that ajnana. And even if they progress in that, there's a saturation effect. Akhanda Ananda still doesn't come. He says, okay, now I want something different, let's expand. Eventually everything gets saturated. It gets saturated where pouring more energy into just doing more inside Prakriti, it doesn't actually produce Akhanda Ananda. It just gives you the experience of that thing that you're experiencing, and then that experience goes away. It doesn't produce Akhanda Ananda. It is always limited, even though it can be expanded. We've given many examples before, but we should remember this point. Sachin can spend $10 and get some fast food meal within $10. And you can also go to a high-class restaurant and spend $200 and behind one dish or something like that. And so, and the experience is different. Is the experience the same? No, it's not. But the experiences are limited. And they are due to Spanda Shakti. Spanda meaning emergence and submersions, that the power, the desire awakens. Oh, I want this. I want that kind of experience. That experience, special kinds of experiences are provided within the realm of Prakriti. And there are gradations of those experiences. In Vachanamrutam, Sajanand Swami Maharaj, he's talked about the three gradations. Uttam, Madhyam, Kanishta. Uttam, Madhyam, Kanishta Vishayas. In Garada number 2, Vachanamrut. And many other places are also described this thing. And we know this already. We can see it. You are sitting in a what is that called? This Rolls Royce or Mercedes or these high class, the topmost cars, $80,000 per car, as opposed to sitting in a Toyota Corolla. What's the difference? Some cars are in the middle ground, 50, 60, price ranges like that. Uttam means the highest quality of experience. Is the quality of experience high quality? Yes. Why? Why is that quality so high? It has to do with the experiences through the senses and through the body. Based on state of mind, it says this is very comfortable, it has so many features, and it says my desires, my experience is the qualitative experience is much higher. Higher in the sense, not necessarily spiritually higher, but it is much more enhanced experience. And this is what 99% of the people in the world want. Maybe nearly 100%, not 100%, but maybe 99.999. They want the highest quality experience, but notice, interestingly, even if you get it, which is also rare, it's not that easy. It's not that easy to have a 40 bungalow, multi-million-dollar home with 2 swimming pools and massive exercise area with 50 acres of garden and I don't know, whatever, some tremendous, like a palace, like a king, you're living somewhere. Even then, that will become old. You will see somebody has, twice as much property. So, oh my God, I feel poor compared to that guy. This is all relative. And then even if you're the king of the whole world, that's only this one planet. You're not king of the whole solar system, or the Milky Way galaxy, or the cluster of galaxies, the local cluster, if you go into the physics. So when you consider you are the Brahman, my God, infinite universes are within one part of who you are. Where's the issue of these small things? They are relatively there at the realm of the body. Once we go beyond the entanglements of the Vishayas, Uttam, Madhyam, Kanishta, Madhyam meaning middle ground, Kanishta, once we are out of that is pure Vairagya. And in that state of Vairagya, Bhakti is done, you could be sitting in just a small place. In Vachanamrut Garada Pratham 27, Maharaj has explained this so beautifully. He says, great saint is sitting in a small kuti, like a hut almost. Very little food, water, just basic things, but is brimming with Brahmic consciousness. Dharma, Jnana, Vairagya, Bhakti. He closes his eyes just for a moment and infinite universes appear. And even they are nothing compared to God. This is a statement actually like this, Maharaj has put inside the Vachanamrut. So, in the life that we have here in this world, the running after these uttam, these highest level vishayas, even if one gets them, you have a private jet and you have 10 servants and you have whatever, you're living like a luxurious king and all that. Okay, for some time there is that experience. One cannot deny that experience. It does exist, but that experience is temporary. And this body is temporary. Even if all those things remain in one's life for a long time, even if you are able to pour more and more money into it and expand it further, like these big billionaires, they keep expanding their experiences further in Prakriti. But they cannot expand their lifespan. The body will become old and turn to dust. In Gujarati, in this a scripture called Swamini Vato in Swaminarayan Sampradaya, Gunatitanand Swami mentioned so beautifully. He said all the way up to Prakriti and Purusha is, in Gujarati he said, Rakhna Padika. It means packets of ash. When we say Bhagwan Shankar puts that vibhuti, that ash on the forehead, what is that? It is a teaching for us that this body will turn to ash one day. So because of that, one can one can awaken into discovering the Atma. Otherwise, one will be running in this Prakriti lifetime after lifetime. We have said that already before. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani, jathare shayanam, iha samsare, bahudastare, krupaya pare, pahi murari, bhajagovindam, bhajagovindam, bhajagovindam mudhamate. This is the first slok out of the 36 shlokas in Bhajagovindam Stotra of Adi Shankaracharya. It's so clear. It couldn't be more clear. I mean, why is it so difficult to not be entangled in the sansar? The sansar is not there to be entangled in. It is there to go beyond. People ask, what is the purpose of this life? Why this world exists? This world exists so you can go beyond it and realize the Paramatma. Realize Bhagavan. It's not here to be stuck in lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. That's not the purpose of this world. But those who don't know that, those who are not aware of that, are trapped, totally trapped inside the sansar. It's a massive prison. Prison that nobody knows that they're inside the prison. That's why Shankaracharya ji is saying here that the instructions of a competent person, apto kitam khananam tatha upari, that the words of the enlightened beings are meant to awaken the Jivatma and say, wait a minute. What belongs to the Atma is Paramatma, and that's all. Nobody else, nothing else is going to come with us. Even right now it's not. It's there temporarily. Okay. It has a certain purpose temporarily. But when we hold on to Brahma Vidya, we recognize that the depletion of energy is no longer there. We interact with the world in its own way, but at the same time there is such a powerful clarity that is shining inside. So the instructions of the Gurus, the instructions are such that they are showing again and again and again the pathway to go beyond the limitations that we have accepted as real. We have accepted so many limitations as real. I said, no, I am an unlimited being, not this limited being. And then, because of difficulties that have happened in life in so many different ways, a person gets tormented from inside. And it's different for each person. Each person has their own special torment. That's what it is. So to stop that completely, start the process of excavating, of digging inside. Go inside yourself. Now, how to do this? So the analogy of excavating, digging, when you start to dig, let's say there's $1 billion diamond 200 feet underneath the ground. You want to find that. But when you dig, when you take the mud and the stone, when you take it out, you don't put it back in that hole. You take it out and you put it on the side. Isn't it so? So dig out the Shadripu, the 6 inner enemies. Dig them out and throw them away. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moha, Matsar, Asha, Trishna, Isha, Ahankar, Rag, Dvesh, Aham, Mamatva. Dig this stuff out and throw it away. Don't put it back inside. Dig out what? What else to dig out? Dig out every type of disturbing memory, even though the memories will remain in our brain, but leave them aside. Go beyond them. So this is an internal journey. And as one takes the internal journey, one gets free. The freedom begins. Freedom begins to come in. So the experience in sadhana is one of greater freedom. There are flashes of freedom. Even one flash of freedom is big. That stays with you. It will not go away. You may not remember it necessarily. but you will have it with you. Flash of freedom. Freedom will flash from inside. Oh, that I am a free being. The mind gets decluttered, declogged. That decluttering, declogging, it begins to open. Just as a person who's digging, they keep digging in all the mud and dirt and everything is gone. And then you begin to see that diamond. You begin to see there is something there. My goodness, it's $1 billion diamond, let's say. Similarly, even there are states of mind in sadhana, in the different yogas, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga. We have talked about it before. We'll talk again in some other ways. The purification mind is very still, it is pure, and it is directed to the discovery of the Atma. And when it is pure, still, and directed, but the energies are directed to the discovery of the Atma, the Mahashakti, Bhagavati, Lalita Tripura Sundari, you can say Goddess Durga, Mahalakshmi, Mahakali, Mahasaraswati, the goddess Devi, she and all of her manifestations are going to assist the sadhaka to realize the Atma. Guaranteed, 100% guarantee that is going to happen. And if we are not aiming to realize the Atma, the same powers will bind the individual lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. Because the Jivatma is within the womb of Mahamaya from time immemorial. It is an Anadi. Anadi means beginningless time. From beginningless time, the Jivatma is within the womb of Maya. The only way to come out of it is if Maya releases you from the womb. She has to release you. Then you wind up in the Akshara Brahma. Then it is a release away. But that release is not going to happen unless that is what we want. If we want to be released from every type of difficulty and the repetition of coming in different forms, different bodies, different names, different yonis. Think of 8.4 million species are described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. If we don't want that, it's called Chaurashi Lakh in the Gujarati language. If we don't want that, we want out of that cyclical pattern, then the Vivekchudamani and every point written in Vivekchudamani is for that purpose. That's what its purpose is. And the word Viveka is this in very, very clear realization of what is the difference between that $1 billion diamond and the dirt. The diamond is hidden in that dirt, but the diamond is not that dirt. You have to get rid of all that dirt, dig out, and then you'll discover, oh, this is that extraordinary. This is it's I'm just using a diamond example. It's easy to understand. When the Atma is realized, the Atma is not male or female or rich or poor or young or old or anything like that. It is a continuous, constant Chaitanya. Chaitanya meaning that it is alive, that is life. And it is a divine light, Divya Prakasha. But it's not just a light, it's more than that. It cannot be fully described. So what is exactly the Atma? This is a matter of discovery. You cannot describe it really. See, the light of the Atma, that divine light, Divya Prakash, is not like the sunlight. It's not like any white light or any kind of light that is known through the senses. It is not that. It is a metaphysical light. that is perceived in realization state, in the state of dhyana, in the state of awakened state of the state, where the mind, it sinks into that divinity of the Atma. It becomes a friend of Brahma Vidya. As in Vachanamrut Garada Antya 9, Sajanand Swami Maharaj, he explained this beautifully, that the mind and the Atma are friends. Jeevane mannu mitratanu Vachanamrut. The friendship. What does the mind become friend with in the sansar? It's trying to become friends with all the people and all the situation and everything in the sansar, which is constantly changing, and it's made out of the three gunas of Maya. It's a little bit of some friendships. You know how it is, right? You may be very close to people and all that, and something happens. Ek shabd koi bol jata hai, and friendship is destroyed completely. It takes one sentence to destroy a lifetime of relationship. This is what happens in Prakriti. Conflicts that are going on and all that. People are searching for Ananda using wrong method and using the Prakriti outside, using those wrong methods, thinking they will find Ananda. Actually, Prakriti is Ananda. But it is Ananda when all of the wrong understanding is gone. Then Prakriti is never an issue. People say Maya ka bada problem hai. Maya is not the problem. We are the problem, not Maya. Maya is a divine power. Daivi esha gunamayi mama maya duratya. Mam evaye prapadyante maya metam tarantete. Bhagavad Gita is very clear on this point. Vachanamrut may be a discussion between Muktanand Swami and Sajanand Swami. Muktanand Swami asks Maharaj, Maya is the biggest problem. No. Maharaj said, Maya is not the problem. The problem, Maya is going to help you. Maya, meaning the powers of the Brahman, are all going to work in your favor if you are aiming towards Bhagavan Narayan. You are aiming towards God. Why should Maya be disturbing to you? Not at all. Maya is not a problem. How can the goddess Durga, how can the goddess Lakshmi, how can the Mahashakti be a problem for us? The divine mother, the divine power that is running. How is that a problem for anybody? It's a problem because we don't have the intelligence, the knowledge, and the wisdom of how to utilize our mind, body, and interact with each other. Because of our own egos and because of our own agnan, then that power works in a binding manner. So yes, Maya does bind. True. But it binds only those who do not know that they're bound. In fact, it binds those who have accepted that bondage as that's the only thing. They don't know there's a binding. Then how can one be free? That is why, again, by the grace of God, the great saints come again and again and again and again. Throughout the history of the world, the enlightened sages come again and again and again because of Karuna, by the grace of God, to give this knowledge. And this is what Shankaracharya ji is saying here. When he is stating here, this first word here, he says here, Apto kitam khananam tatha upari Shila dyuta karshanam, the removal of all the shilas, the stones and all this thing. And svikrutim, grasping. The sadhaka begins to grasp those beautiful teachings and grasps what? That extraordinary treasure. Svikrutim nikshepaha. That is the tremendous treasure. What is that treasure? That is the realization of the Atma. And in that realization, see, when one begins to awaken, that goes back to the previous verses. One is like a lion in the jungle. This sansar is a jungle, and you become the lion. You realize you are the king of this jungle. You are not a victim in this jungle. You're not a sheep or some bird running around with fear. The lion is the king of this jungle. Lion could be anywhere. Lion has no fear. And nobody can stand next to that lion. Doesn't matter how big that animal is. Is it true or not? That is why in the depiction of the goddess Durga, she's her, isko jo vahan kehte hain na, devi ka vahan, वो क्या है? It is a lion, it is a tiger, these vicious, ferocious animal. It means tremendous strength, infinite strength. Who in this world can touch you? When you are connected with Brahma Vidya and you have the blessings of Bhagwan Shankar and all the great sages and Mahashakti, nobody can disturb that sadhaka. Impossible. Kisi ke bhi, nobody has any potential or power to touch the sadhaka at all. When that sadhaka is trying to realize Paramatma, everything in the universe works for that person. Yoga Kshema Vaham Vyaham. Bhagwan Krishna to directly iska guarantee hai in the Gita. I will create the situation, circumstances in such a way that sadhaka will realize Paramatma. That technology, that is the technology of God. That we don't understand, it's a deeper subject. So the experiences for the Jivatma begin to change in such a way so that the sadhaka, the mumukshu, the bhakta can realize that ultimate truth. And there are 1,000 ways, infinite ways that can happen. Because the Ishvara Tattva is in the heart of the bhakta, it's inside the heart of all. Ishvaraha sarvabhutanam rudde shrirjuna tishtati brahmayan sarvabhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. This entire sansar is like a yantra, it is a mechanistic phenomena. And that Ishvara Tattva within the Atma knows all, and that is running this, it has placed this whole Prakriti in motion. And that Prakriti in motion is exactly what we were saying about the Spandana Karikas, the Spandana Shakti. Spandan Karika is the actual scripture in the Kashmiri Shaivism. Spandan Karika. So the emergence and submergence, Nimesha and Umesha and Nimesha. These are two technical words. And it is Sada Devi Sada Purna Cha Bhasyate Cha Bhaste. The actual Karika in the Spandan Karika is like this. It's Lalihana Sada Devi Sada Purna Cha Bhasyate. It's always replete with fullness of power. Energy is never depleted. And that constant rejuvenation is possible for us when Ajnan disappears. Then no energy is wasted. It remains in the Purana state. That's what the Upanishad is saying. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. The Ishavasya Upanishad. It's very clear that the Purana state is holding every type of power. So activity is going on, but there is no reactivity in the sansar, towards the sansar. Such a state is a state of a liberated, highly energetic, highly dynamic, ever-evolving being. And such a state is what Shankaracharya Ji is asking us to realize in terms of the additional sadhanas that he will show about dhyana and manana and meditation, and all those things are coming up in the next several days. We will cover all of that. But here, what we have done today is to recognize that the gurus have a state where they are holding all of that kingly power with them. They don't allow anybody to steal it. They don't allow their own mind to deplete it. They don't allow external situation and circumstances to damage the clarity, the jnana, the flow of realization because of the realization of the Brahman. They don't allow anybody to damage that. I'll just close with this. If you have a top-notch surgeon a neurosurgeon or a heart surgeon or a cardiovascular surgeon or something, will that surgeon allow some life circumstances to damage his or her knowledge about medical science? Or cause deliberately, take a hammer and hit the head with the hammer, saying, let me awaken my brain by damaging my brain? This is what we are doing. We are damaging our internal system again and again and again because of this raga and dvesha and kama and krodh and lobh and the situation with these people in the world. Is jagat mein jo sansari jo hai, they are stuck, trapped inside the sansar. Uske sath kya lena dena? Forget about them. Just keep them at a distance and leave them alone. Let them continue in their. Sachin is not. I'm not making this up. Bhagavad Gita mein likha hai. Bhagwan Krishna कहते don't disturb small-minded individuals. Doesn't mean it's an egotistical thing. You recognize people are in their own path. With compassion and love, let them go on their path. Ya nisha sarvabhutanam tasyam jagrati sayami. If you want to realize God, leave everybody else alone. Otherwise, they will keep dragging the sadhaka back into their vortex. They will burn the sadhana of the sadhaka, guaranteed, the people in the sansar. So leave them alone and have a certain interaction with them and let them go. Let them go in their way. If we don't do that, what will happen? We will get lost and stuck with them through karma and then be connected with them from lifetime after lifetime. Ante yamati sagati, Vachanamrut, Garuda number 14. This is all Brahma Vidya. It might sound like a harsh thing. It's nothing harsh about this. It's love. Letting people go on their path is an act of love. And vairagya. It is bhakti and vairagya. And we have a right connection, certain respect, but with the realization that beings come, beings go. The Atma belongs to nobody except Paramatma. And with that realization, bhakti takes hold. Bhakti opens beautifully. It keeps opening, and then one is free. So it's one is living in the sansar, living in the family, working and doing everything. But there is a constant realization that there is no disturbance with anyone. Particularly, there is no karmic connection with anybody. So we wish good for all, love all, blessings for all, do everything in that, but very cautiously, to be so cautious about realizing that if I want to realize this great treasure, I've got to throw away all of that unnecessary covering, which is inside our heads as raga, dvesha, aham, mamatva, worry, tension, fear, all those things that we experience, they go away. The poverty one experiences goes away when one discovers the $1 billion diamond. Anybody who discovers that diamond is immediately a billionaire. It's like that. Instantaneously, when you realize the Atma, you're free. So this is the whole point. It is a beautiful journey. It is a very fantastic journey. And there's nothing to be scared of in this. It is actually a state of freedom. So it is Karuna, Sindhu, the great sages. They also have families. They also are living in the world. They have Karuna for the world. They are an ocean of mercy for the world. They are not stuck and trapped. If you have a masterful surgeon, the person is not going to say, okay, because, oh my God, you are having a heart problem, let me open my heart also and create the same problem. This is what we are doing. We interact with somebody else's issue and problem. We open it up within ourselves also. No, never do that. So hold on to Brahma Vidya, hold on to Bhakti, hold on to a deep sense that I belong to Bhagavan and love all, wish good for all, practically do what is needed in the sansar and leave it alone. This is the point of Vivekchudamani and chapter 15 in the Gita and many other places. Alright, so we went a little over time today, but we will continue tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday, and we will continue at 8:30 tomorrow. We'll do the closing prarthana right now.